Welcome to Friday. It's October 3rd, 2025. Your day weather podcast is being brought to you by the Advocates Injury Attorneys. If you've been injured in an accident, don't face it alone. Get an experienced local Wyoming attorney on your side. Free consultations at wyomingadvocates.com or call 307-800-1952. You deserve an advocate. Well, we're going to have all of those things listed there depending on where you are. That beautiful scene that you see there in the photo will be interrupted a bit by this next storm system. Showers and thunderstorms will be increasing, especially in the Intermountain west of the Continental Divide. But showers and thunderstorms, some strong, will be developing across portions of Nevada, Idaho, parts of Utah, western Wyoming as this system in front approaches. As we go through the weekend, colder air comes in on the backside of this system. We're still looking at snow in the mountains of Montana, Wyoming, eastern Idaho, into the mountains of northern Colorado and Utah with this system, but especially Montana and northern and northwestern Wyoming. So hunters and travelers over the mountain passes, be advised of that. We're also unfortunately going to be dealing with, and here's a sign of the seasons changing, wind. This is going to be a windy system, especially Saturday. Saturday in particular will be a windy day across the region. Now, winds will be backing down by Monday, but for Saturday and Sunday, be ready for a cold northwest wind on the backside of the system. The next storm system next week may end up staying in the eastern Pacific, delaying the next cold snap. We'll talk about that here in a moment. Beautiful shot of the aspen all across the region. Unfortunately, this is probably the peak weekend, and unfortunately, the weekend will coincide with this front. So this might be your last chance today to see a lot of leaves on the trees before a lot of them are lost. Beautiful shot there from Owens River, California on a fly fishing trip. The wind causing a little bit of problem there because of that system approaching, and there it is. On the satellite imagery this morning, you can see this north-south axis of showers and thunderstorms moving into the Great Basin and Intermountain West right here. It shows up very well, the swirl of the clouds in the water vapor with the upper level low here. And then there you can see the enhanced cloudiness. What you see here in the blue, these are the colder cloud tops, meaning the cloud tops are growing taller into the colder regions of the atmosphere. And this is where you're going to see the more widespread, heavier precipitation. So it's a rather robust system, and as it works its way eastward, as we go through today, this is where it's going to be by noon today, just north of Lake Tahoe, and heading east, joining up with the other part of the trough coming into western Canada as we head into the weekend. And by noon Sunday, they join back up again, drawing that Canadian air south and bringing the Pacific air east into the region. So strong thunderstorms, something to watch out for, from Utah to western Colorado, western Wyoming, eastern Idaho through Yellowstone Park there. Some thunderstorm activity late this afternoon could be a bit on the strong side, and some showers and thunderstorms could even get an early start on Saturday as the system progresses eastward out into the plains. A few strong thunderstorms, scattered thunderstorms elsewhere. And as we have been showing you over the last couple of days, that axis of heavier moisture is basically in the same place. So there really hasn't been any large-scale change to the overall message here of this system coming in this weekend, bringing colder, wet weather conditions into the western United States. The area of heavier moisture continues to be western and northern Wyoming, far southern Montana, then streaking there across northwest South Dakota and across a lot of North Dakota. Scattered showers will be noted elsewhere, but you can certainly see where the concentration of the heavier moisture will be. And we're still looking at those snow levels getting pretty low, probably down to 7,000 feet or even 6,500 feet up here into these regions where the coldest air will be with the storm system. So the heavier snow, definitely the Bighorns, the Beartooth, the Absarokas, the Wind Rivers, Wyoming Range, to a lesser extent the Tetons, but it's certainly going to be this area here where the higher elevations are going to be hit the most. As we go and take a look at the wind here in a moment, you'll see that the wind is going to be rather robust, but if we zoom in, you can see a little bit better detail of where the heavier snow will be in the mountains of Wyoming, Colorado, Utah, and southwest Montana. And here's the wind. These are the peak wind gusts between now and Sunday. Now, most of the wind is going to come late today A lot of areas, a lot of you will experience the wind Saturday into Sunday morning, especially Sunday up here into the plains on the backside of that system as it moves away. But it's going to be a nuisance wind for sure and pretty gusty. There's a lot of 40s you see here. There will be some wind gusts that will probably go into the 50s. Now, once that system goes off to the east and we're left with the cold air in behind it, you can see the temperature anomaly by Sunday afternoon across the region. We're going to then be looking at what is the next system going to do. Well, kind of an interesting take on what's going on right now. You don't see this very often, but instead of the next major system diving into the northern plains and northern Rockies, like what was showing earlier this week, well, it looks like this low is going to cut off from the main jet stream. This will leave it behind, and this is for Thursday, the 9th. So this will keep us in a southwest flow. If this happens, and the models are pretty much in agreement this will happen, that southwest flow will bring a warming trend back into the region and basically delay the next cold snap by about 4 or 5 days or so. Not 100% sure this will happen, but it is something that the other models are suggesting as well. And there's that tropical system off the coast of Mexico that we need to watch, as it could enter the southwestern United States late in the weekend, by next weekend. But the AI version of the European is somewhat similar, even more cut off. So is the GFS, and so is the Canadian. So they're kind of in an agreement now that it's going to get cut off and meander. Now, eventually, you do have to expect this system to come back through. As it does come back through, it will get pushed eastward, and we'll have to deal with it later. But it may be delayed by several days if it gets cut off in the eastern Pacific. We'll see what the models show us on Monday. Have a good weekend and be ready for the change.